The grave that opens at 3 a.m. They say Ravenwood Cemetery isn't just haunted, it's cursed. Locals whisper that at exactly 3 a.m., one grave opens on its own. No one knows whose grave it is. No name, no date, just a cracked, weather-beaten stone that looks like it's been there forever. Most people in Hollow Creek avoid the cemetery after dark, but 3 college kids, Ethan, Mia, and Tyler, didn't believe the stories. For them, it was just another urban legend, the kind of thing you tell around campfires. On a chilly October night, they parked their car by the rusted gates of Ravenwood with flashlights in hand. "Come on," Ethan said, smirking. "We filmed this, upload it, boom." Viral video, the grave that opens at 3 a.m. People eat this stuff up. Mia hesitated. "What if the stories are true?" Tyler laughed. "Then we'll have the best TikTok ever." They pushed the gates open. The screech of the metal echoed across the silent cemetery. Cold winds swept through the crooked headstones. Their flashlights carved shaky beams through the fog as they walked deeper inside. Every crunch of leaves beneath their shoes sounded louder than it should have. Mia wrapped her arms around herself. "It feels wrong here." "Exactly," Ethan said, keeping his camera steady. "That's what makes it perfect." At the center of the graveyard, they found it. The grave. It looked different from the others. No name, no flowers, no offerings. Just a slab of stone cracked down the middle and soil that seemed darker than the rest. Tyler crouched down, brushing dirt off the stone. "Looks fake, probably just some unfinished plot." Ethan glanced at his phone. "It's 2:55. We've got 5 minutes." They set up the camera on a tripod. The wind grew colder, the air thicker. Mia swore she heard faint whispers, but when she turned, no one was there. At exactly 3 a.m., the ground beneath the nameless grave trembled. Soil shifted. The crack in the stone widened. Their flashlights flickered. Mia gasped, stepping back. "Oh my God, it's moving." The earth split open with a groan, like wood splintering. Slowly, a coffin lid rose from beneath the soil, dust spilling out around it. Tyler's laughter died in his throat. "Holy, guys, this is actually happening." The coffin lid creaked open. Inside, something stirred. A pale hand, thin and rotted, curled over the edge. The kids froze, unable to breathe. Then the corpse sat up. Hollow eyes stared at them, black liquid dripping from its mouth. Mia screamed. Ethan kept filming, whispering, "Oh my God, this is real." The corpse turned its head toward them, bones cracking with the motion. And then it spoke. Its voice a dry whisper carried on the wind. "One of you takes my place." The ground rumbled again. The grave wasn't just opening, it was waiting. The 3 of them stood frozen, staring at the corpse that had dragged itself halfway out of the coffin. Its skin clung to its bones like wet paper, its mouth oozing black rot that smelled of earth and decay. Mia clutched Ethan's arm. "We need to go, now." But Ethan couldn't move. His camera lens zoomed in, trembling in his grip. This is proof. Do you know what this means? Nobody's ever caught something like this on film before." The corpse tilted its head, its jaw snapping open wider than humanly possible. A guttural hiss escaped its throat, followed by words that made the blood in their veins run cold. "One of you takes my place." Tyler staggered back, his face pale. "It's a trick. Some psycho dressed up. It has to be." He grabbed a stick from the ground, pointing it toward the grave. "Stay back." The corpse's hollow sockets shifted toward him. Then came the whisper, low, echoing, layered with voices that didn't belong to one person but dozens. "Tyler." He froze. "What? How does it know my name?" The whispers grew louder, weaving through the cemetery, coming from every direction. Some sounded like men, others like children. Some cried, some laughed, all chanting the same name. "Tyler, Tyler, Tyler." The grave began to pull at the soil around his feet. It shifted, almost alive, like the earth itself wanted him. He stumbled backward, panicked. No, stop," Mia shrieked. She grabbed his arm, yanking him away, but the ground beneath the coffin cracked wider. Dozens of skeletal hands burst out from the soil, grasping, reaching. Their fingers clawed at Tyler's ankles, scraping against his skin. He thrashed, screaming, "Get him off me." Ethan finally dropped the camera, rushing to help, but the whispers only grew louder, so loud they drowned out their cries. It was as if the entire graveyard had come alive, every stone, every coffin echoing the same dreadful chant. Mia pulled harder, her nails digging into Tyler's sleeve. For a moment, it seemed like they could save him. But the hands were too many. They dragged, relentless, their grip like iron. Tyler's scream tore through the night as his body sank deeper, half his legs already inside the soil. Mia's eyes filled with tears. "Please, don't take him. Take me instead." The whispers stopped. Silence fell, heavy and suffocating. The corpse turned its eyeless gaze toward her. Then, with a violent jerk, the hands released Tyler. He collapsed onto the dirt, gasping, shaking uncontrollably. Mia's relief lasted only a second, because now the grave shifted toward her. The soil around her feet softened like quicksand, dragging her down. She screamed as her shoes vanished into the earth. "Ethan, help me." Ethan lunged forward, but the camera light flickered, revealing something behind her. Dozens of faces, ghostly, pale, twisted in agony, emerged from the tombstones. Their mouths opened wide, wailing in unison. The corpse hissed again, its voice like gravel, grinding. "She takes my place." Mia thrashed wildly, her legs sinking deeper into the graveyard soil. Every frantic pull only dragged her further down. Cold dirt pressed against her skin, and she could feel unseen hands clawing at her from beneath the surface. "Ethan!" she screamed, reaching out. Ethan grabbed her arms, pulling with everything he had. I've got you, just hold on." But the ground didn't want to let her go. It was like the earth itself was alive, pulsing, tightening around her like quicksand. The more he pulled, the more the whispers grew, circling them like a storm. "She takes my place. She takes my place." Mia's flashlight slipped from her grip, rolling across the ground. Its beam caught the corpse still sitting upright in the coffin, its skeletal hand reaching outward. The black voids where eyes should have been locked on her. Her body trembled violently. Her voice cracked as she cried, "Please, don't let it take me." Tyler staggered to his feet, limping, his face ashen. "Ethan, let her go. If the grave wants her, we can still escape." Ethan's head snapped toward him. "What the hell are you saying? She's our friend." Tyler's voice shook, half crazed. "Better her than all of us." For a moment, Ethan's grip faltered. Not because he agreed, but because the whispers inside his head twisted his thoughts. He heard voices that weren't his own, whispering terrible things. "Let her go. She is chosen. You survive if she stays." Mia saw the hesitation in his eyes. Tears streamed down her face. "Don't listen to it. Please, Ethan. Don't let me die." The corpse tilted its head, jaw cracking open wider. A sound spilled out, half scream, half laugh, that made their blood run cold. The ground surged, dirt exploded upward as skeletal arms burst out, wrapping around Mia's waist, her chest, her arms. Ethan pulled harder, but her body was disappearing fast. "No, I won't let them take you," Ethan roared, adrenaline flooding him. He dug his heels into the earth, pulling with a strength he didn't know he had. Mia's face went pale, her lips trembled as she whispered, "Ethan, I don't want to die here." The whispers grew deafening. The corpse raised one bony hand and pointed directly at her. The chant became absolute. "She takes my place! She takes my place!" Suddenly, the skeletal hands loosened. The soil stopped swallowing her. Mia gasped, chest heaving. Ethan yanked her free, and they both collapsed onto the cold ground. For a second, there was silence. The grave closed on itself, sealing shut as if nothing had ever happened. Mia sobbed in relief, but Ethan noticed something horrifying. On her wrist, where the corpse had been pointing, dark veins were spreading under her skin, like rot, alive and growing. Tyler stumbled back, eyes wide. Oh God, it marked her. Ethan stared at Mia's trembling hand. She followed his gaze, her face draining of color. Because deep inside, she could already hear the whispers. "You belong to us now." The three of them huddled together near the cracked gravestone, their breaths fogging in the icy night air. The grave had sealed itself again, the ground flat as if it had never split open. But Mia's wrist told a different story. The black veins crawled slowly up her arm, pulsing faintly, like something alive was moving beneath her skin. She held it close to her chest, shivering. "Ethan," she whispered, her voice breaking, "it's inside me." Ethan shook his head furiously. No, we'll figure this out. It's just dirt or something. It's nothing." Tyler backed away, his eyes darting between her and the grave. "Don't lie to yourself. You saw what happened. That thing chose her. She's marked. Mia's tears glistened in the flashlight's beam. What does that mean? Am I going to die? The whispers returned, faint but distinct. Only Mia could hear them. They slithered into her mind, cold and suffocating. You are ours. Your heart will stop at dawn, and your soul will stay. She slapped her hands over her ears, sobbing. Stop it! Make it stop! Ethan grabbed her shoulders. Mia, look at me. Don't listen to it. We're getting out of here. He glanced at Tyler. Help me get her to the car. But Tyler shook his head, stepping farther back. No way. If she's cursed, I'm not taking her with me. What if it follows us? Ethan's jaw tightened. Are you kidding me? You'd leave her here? Tyler's face twisted with fear. I almost got dragged down there, Ethan. I'm not going back. She's as good as dead already. The wind howled, stronger now, rattling the tombstones. Shadows shifted across the cemetery as though dozens of figures were moving just out of sight. Mia clutched Ethan, whispering, They're watching us. He turned his flashlight, but nothing was there, just stone and fog. Yet he felt it too. 100 unseen eyes staring at them. Suddenly, the grave gave a violent shudder. Soil cracked. For a split second, Ethan swore he saw the coffin lid twitch again. Run, he shouted. They bolted toward the gate, Ethan dragging Mia with one arm while holding the flashlight in the other. Tyler sprinted ahead, desperate to escape first. But halfway across the cemetery, Mia stumbled. Her legs buckled, her skin pale. The black veins had spread past her elbow, glowing faintly in the dark. Ethan dropped to his knees beside her. Mia, get up. Come on. She clutched his shirt, her lips trembling. Ethan, I can't. It's pulling me back. Her eyes rolled back for a second, and her voice changed. Low, guttural, echoing. She takes my place. She takes my place. Ethan froze, horror flooding him. It wasn't Mia speaking anymore. It was the corpse, using her mouth. Tyler screamed from the gate. Leave her, Ethan. If you bring her, we're all dead. The cemetery gate loomed just a few feet away. Freedom. Safety. But Mia's body trembled violently, her hands ice cold, and the whispers poured from her throat like smoke. Ethan had a choice. Save himself, or drag Mia out before the grave claimed her completely. Ethan's heart thundered in his chest as he stared at Mia, her body trembling, her lips muttering the corpse's words in that guttural, inhuman voice. The black veins pulsed like roots spreading under her skin, creeping toward her neck. Behind him, Tyler screamed again. Ethan, leave her. The longer we stay, the worse it gets. But Ethan couldn't. He grabbed Mia's face, forcing her to look at him. Mia, listen to me. You're not theirs. You're not going to die here. Her eyes flickered between human and hollow black, like something else was peering through her. She choked out a whisper, her real voice breaking through for a second. Ethan, please, don't let them take me. The ground trembled beneath them. Across the cemetery, several more graves cracked open, dirt shifting, as if the curse was spreading. Faint moans rose into the night air, dozens of voices blending into one terrible chorus. One must take her place. Ethan's blood ran cold. Take her place? He spun toward Tyler. That's it. Someone has to go in the grave instead of her. Tyler's eyes widened in horror. Don't look at me like that. I'm not dying for her. The whispers grew louder, swirling around them. The ghostly figures flickered in and out of sight between the tombstones, their pale faces watching silently. Mia clutched Ethan's hand weakly. It wants a life to replace me. Her voice cracked. Ethan, please don't. But before she could finish, her body convulsed. A violent scream tore from her throat, a sound that wasn't hers but the corpse's. Her back arched and the black veins surged, crawling up her neck and across her face. Ethan held her down, panic flooding him. Stay with me, Mia. Stay with me. Tyler stood at the gate, shaking his head. You can't save her. She's already gone. The grave at the center of the cemetery cracked open again, soil spilling outward like a hungry mouth waiting to swallow its victim. The whispers became unbearable, echoing inside Ethan's skull. One must take her place. One must take her place. Ethan's eyes darted to Mia. If she was pulled in, she would be lost forever. But if someone else went instead, his mind raced, heart tearing in two. He thought about Tyler, selfish, terrified, willing to abandon them both. He thought about Mia, his best friend, maybe more, begging for help. The ground beneath Mia split wide, skeletal hands bursting upward, wrapping around her arms, her waist. She screamed his name, her voice real again. "Ethan, don't let go!" Ethan roared, pulling her upward with every ounce of strength he had. The soil dragged harder. The whispers rose to a fever pitch. And in that moment, Ethan made his choice. With a surge of rage, he shoved Tyler backward into the open grave. Tyler's scream pierced the night. "No, Ethan, no!" Skeletal arms seized him instantly, dragging him down into the darkness. The soil swallowed him whole, sealing shut in an instant. The whispers stopped, the wind died. Mia collapsed into Ethan's arms, the black veins slowly fading from her skin, leaving only faint scars behind. She gasped, sobbing, clutching him tightly. "You saved me." But Ethan didn't feel like a savior. He looked at the sealed grave, Tyler's scream still echoing in his mind. And then, the coffin lid began to rise again. For a moment, the cemetery felt eerily silent. The grave sealed itself as if nothing had happened. The whispers vanished, leaving only the sound of Ethan and Mia's ragged breathing. Mia clung to him, trembling. "It's over, right?" Ethan stared at the soil where Tyler had disappeared, his stomach twisted with guilt. "It has to be. He took your place." But the silence didn't last. Slowly, the coffin lid creaked again, louder this time, as if something inside was fighting to break free. The earth shifted, splitting wider. Mia's eyes widened in horror. "No, it's not done. It wants more." From the coffin, a pale figure began to rise. But it wasn't the rotted corpse from before. It was Tyler. His skin was chalk white, his eyes hollow voids, his mouth stretched into a grin that wasn't human. Ethan stumbled back, dragging Mia with him. "No, that's not him." The thing that looked like Tyler climbed out of the grave with unnatural jerks, its bones cracking loudly with each movement. When it spoke, its voice was layered, the real Tyler's desperate scream buried under the corpse's guttural whisper. "The grave never gives back. It only takes." Mia let out a broken sob. "Oh God, Ethan, what have we done?" The creature tilted its head, staring directly at her. She still owes a debt. Her breath is mine at dawn. Ethan pulled Mia behind a row of tombstones, his mind racing. No, I gave it someone. It can't still want you." The shadows of the cemetery shifted. Dozens of figures appeared between the graves, ghostly silhouettes of people long dead, their faces twisted in eternal suffering. They circled the two of them slowly, their eyes burning with hollow light. The Tyler thing stepped closer, dragging its feet through the dirt. Each step sounded like nails scraping wood. "She was chosen. Your sacrifice bought her hours, nothing more." Mia clutched Ethan's hand tightly. "We have to get out. Please, Ethan, we can't stay here." They bolted again toward the gate. Ethan's flashlight flickered wildly, barely piercing the fog. Every step felt slower, heavier, as if the ground itself wanted to keep them in Ravenwood forever. Behind them, the whispers rose again. Not one voice, not two, but hundreds. The voices of every soul buried in that cursed ground. "The grave opens. The grave opens. The grave opens." They reached the gate, hearts pounding. Ethan shoved Mia through first, then climbed after her. For a split second, he thought they'd made it. The cemetery behind them was shrouded in mist, the figures fading away. But when they turned toward the car, they froze. Standing in the middle of the road was Tyler's body, or what was left of it. Its neck hung crooked, its face half decayed, eyes glowing faintly. It grinned wide, black ooze dripping from its lips, and in its broken, layered voice it whispered, "Dawn is coming, and she will still be mine." The road was empty, except for the thing wearing Tyler's broken body. It stood perfectly still, head tilted unnaturally to the side, eyes glowing like embers in the fog. Mia's nails dug into Ethan's arm. "It followed us. Oh God, it followed us!" Ethan pulled her toward the car. "Get in, now!" They scrambled inside, slamming the doors shut. Ethan fumbled with the keys, his hands shaking so badly the metal kept slipping. Outside, the creature didn't move. It just stared, grinning as though it had all the time in the world. Finally, the engine roared to life. Ethan hit the gas, tires screeching as the car tore down the road. The headlights cut through the fog, but every glance in the rearview mirror made Ethan's stomach twist. The figure was gone. Mia sat trembling in the passenger seat, clutching her marked wrist. The black veins had faded, but faint shadows still crawled beneath her skin. She whispered, "Ethan, it's at dawn." "What happens at dawn?" He shook his head. "I don't know, but we're not going to find out. We'll drive until sunrise if we have to." For a few precious minutes the road stretched empty and silent. Ethan's heartbeat began to slow, his brain convincing him they were safe. Then Mia gasped. "Ethan, the clock." He glanced at the dashboard. 3:07 a.m. But the clock's hands were moving backward, ticking down instead of forward. 3:06, 3:05. The radio crackled to life, though it wasn't on. A chorus of whispers spilled from the speakers. "You cannot leave the grave follows you." Mia covered her ears, tears streaking her face. "Make it stop. Please, make it stop." Ethan slammed the radio, but the voices only grew louder, filling the car, echoing inside their skulls. His vision blurred. The headlights flickered, and for a split second, the road in front of them wasn't a road at all. It was the cemetery. The same cracked gravestone, the same coffin, the same shadows watching from the mist. Ethan swerved the wheel violently. Tires screeched. The illusion snapped, and the road reappeared. But standing directly in front of them was Tyler's corpse. Ethan jerked the wheel again. The car spun out, skidding onto the shoulder before slamming to a stop. The airbags deployed with a deafening bang. When the ringing in his ears faded, Ethan turned to Mia. She was breathing, dazed but alive. Relief washed through him, until he saw the figure standing outside Mia's window. Tyler's corpse leaned close, its grin stretching wider, teeth rotting and broken. Its voice was muffled through the glass, but clear enough. "She takes my place at dawn," Mia screamed. Ethan fumbled for the gear, stomping the gas. The car lurched forward, and the figure vanished into the fog. They drove in silence, both trembling, until Mia finally spoke in a hollow voice. "Ethan, what if there's no escaping it? What if the grave already chose me?" Ethan gripped the wheel, eyes locked on the endless foggy road. "Then I'll fight it until my last breath." But deep inside, he wasn't sure if the grave could ever be fought. The car roared down the foggy highway, every shadow outside twisting into shapes that looked like watching figures. Mia sat hunched in the passenger seat, clutching her arm. The veins had almost vanished, but her skin was cold, her lips pale. Ethan kept glancing at the clock. It was stuck at 2:59 a.m. No matter how long they drove, it wouldn't move forward. Mia whispered, "We'll never make it to dawn." "Time isn't moving." His hands tightened on the wheel. "Don't say that. We're getting out of this." But his words felt hollow. Without warning, the headlights illuminated a pair of rusted iron gates ahead, massive, towering, and all too familiar. Ethan's stomach dropped. Ravenwood Cemetery. He slammed the brakes, tires screeching. The car skidded to a stop just feet from the gates. His pulse pounded in his ears. No, this can't be happening. We left this place." The gates creaked open on their own, the sound echoing like nails across glass. Beyond them, the fog swirled and parted, revealing the nameless grave. The coffin sat wide open, waiting. Mia's body convulsed. She screamed, clawing at her chest. The black veins surged back, spreading across her neck, her face. Her eyes rolled black. "The hour is here," the corpse's voice growled through her. "She takes my place." Ethan grabbed her shoulders, shaking her. "Fight it, Mia. Don't let them take you." For a brief second, her real voice broke through. Tears streamed down her face. "Ethan, it hurts. I can't stop it." Behind them, the air filled with whispers. The dead were everywhere now, pale figures spilling from the graves surrounding the car. Their faces were stretched in endless screams, their hollow eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Ethan's mind spun. Someone had to go into the grave. That was the rule. A life for a life. Tyler hadn't been enough. The debt wasn't paid. He looked at Mia, his best friend, maybe more, and knew what he had to do. He kissed her forehead gently. "I won't let them take you." Before she could stop him, Ethan shoved his door open and staggered toward the grave. The air grew heavy, suffocating, as skeletal hands burst from the soil, reaching for him. He didn't resist. He let them take him. Mia's scream pierced the night. "Ethan, no." The grave swallowed him whole. The coffin slammed shut with a thunderous crack. And then, silence. The fog lifted. The whispers stopped. Dawn broke over the horizon, the first light of morning spilling across the cemetery. Mia collapsed to the ground, gasping for air. The black veins on her skin faded completely, leaving only pale scars. She was free, or so she thought. As the sun rose higher, Mia stumbled to her feet, wiping her tears. But when she turned back toward the grave, she froze. The headstone, once nameless, now bore a fresh inscription. Ethan Cole, 1999 and 25. Her breath caught. She staggered back, and then, slowly, the stone began to crack again. From beneath the soil, fingers clawed upward. Not rotted, not skeletal. Ethan's hand, but his skin was already turning gray, and when his eyes met hers, they were empty. The grave had taken him, but it wasn't done.